Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and since it's Women's History Month, I'm here today to talk to you about the new Worst Witch Season 2, the rundown review. I couldn't get my words out. So this is the last season, sadly, of the new Worst Witch that came out in 2006 and ended in 2007. It only had 2 seasons. There was supposed to be a 3rd season. However, it's a rumor that the main actress who played Hetty Hubble didn't want to renew her contract. Then a couple of other people didn't want to renew it. Why? Don't know. But it really sucks. Because it was actually a pretty cool show. Like, it's not as edgy as, or it's not as edgy or as, like, dramatic as the 2017 series, but it was on par of that of, like, say, the original. But this was more somewhat kid friendlier, I guess you could say, than that of the original. And even though the 2017 is very brightly colored and supposed to be like very like kid friendly, it's actually very deep and it has some edge to it. But this one was just a nice thing for like younger people because, Weird Sister was probably the darkest, edgiest one of them all. And that didn't do so well, only lasting 1 season. But this was like really cool. Like young people would like it. It's not too scary. Some older people might find it a little too kiddish, but they might find it like enjoyable and stuff. And it was like a really cool series. I think the 2nd season is a whole lot more better than the first because with the first season, you do get a feel for certain characters, but not everybody is fleshed out as well as you would like. They do a lot more in the 2nd season, especially like Swoop. No, Swoop. That's how you say it. Swoop. She has a lot more scenes this season than she did in like the first. And Illis, or Dillis, whatever you call it, Dillis, she has a lot more to do in this season as well, even though she's still that of a minor character. But like we get more into like Cressie, we get to see more of her like somewhat rebellious, like free spirited side. We get to see more of the scientific side of Mona, and we get to see more of Hetty's like selfishness. It's so weird that she's so selfish and everything. She's the main character. But we get to see more brattiness from Belladonna and that of Cynthia, and it's really cool. Miss Harbroom is awesome as ever, even though she is the 2nd actress to play her. She is probably my favorite, like, Miss Harbroom, because I do like this 2017 one. But the problem with her is, after a while, she started making these silly, goofy faces, and it was just kind of like, stop that, you're supposed to be me. That's why your name is Hard Broom. And, Miss Cackle, she's awesome as always. She has, like, this really cool, like, Swedish fetish in this season, and Caspian, oh my god, dude, Caspian is awesome. And then there's Widget is just, like, nuts. And stuff. And so, but one problem I do have this season is that because it is kid friendly, there isn't that much like, like grit and danger to that Miss Cackle's Academy and stuff. And that's kind of like a bummer because like this season had a nice episode for its finale, but it didn't feel like a season finale worthy thing. The season premiere feels more like a season finale episode. Because like towards the end of the 1st season, the last 2 episodes dealt with some pretty like serious stuff that, you felt like these kids were in danger. And this season, you never really felt like nobody was really in danger. It's just like, oops, I goofed up and let me fix this, type thing. And so that's kind of how like this season was and everything. And so like it's 13 episodes just like the first, and some of the things that like happen is like you have like Hetty's cat, and it's like a doll because it got transformed in the 1st season. They never bothered to turn it back because Miss Cackle's only supposed to have cats, and just like owls supposed to be in pentangles and stuff. And they never try to turn Kitty back into like a cat. and stuff. And there's like one adventure where Belladonna like makes some like really big, and there's supposed to be like this person who's supposed to like evaluate like all the animals, and he's like super huge, and they're trying to like hide him and stuff. That's one thing I've noticed when it comes to the animals. They never really bother too much with the cats. Like that's how all the series are. Like every series is supposed to deal with cats because that's their familiars and stuff, but they never really showed them on the shows, like in all three shows and stuff. And so like there was this one episode where like there was like this sleeping potion to put everybody to sleep stuff for a couple of people, and they had to be like this school evaluation teacher. And so like Miss Swoop, she had to like pretend to be like three different teachers, like Miss Cackles, Widget, and Hard Broom and everything. So that was a really funny episode. Yeah, like an episode where Mona got turned into like a guy because Hetty just had to interfere and everything, and like mess around with potions and stuff. There's this one well episode where like they have to like make throw wishing stones at it, and Hetty thought like her doll drank all the water, so she magically made the water come back, and some people's wishes came through. There's like an episode where Mona is like not supposed to use magic because she had a bet with Miss Cackles talking about technology is the way, and Miss Cackles like, all right, fine, you can't use no magic for like a couple of hours, but she ends up breaking the rule by mistake. So when it does come to the characters, we have Hetty Hubble. And she is the new worst witch. But here's the thing about her. She's great at flying with her broom. She's great with finger magic. The only thing she's terrible at is potions. She cannot get not one potion right. So that's what every episode normally is about. Either she because the thing about her is weird. She's very selfish and everything. And there are times where she only thinks about herself, or there are times where she thinks about other people. And she's very hard-headed. Like, they're always getting on her because she keeps breaking the rules and stuff. And there was one episode towards the end where Miss Cackle's like, yo, this is your last warning. One more thing, you screw up and you're out. And so, like, Mr. Caspian had like an obedience potion that he was supposed to give to Miss Swoop, and she decides, okay, I'm gonna take it for myself so I can be obedient. But then Belladonna finds out and makes her do all kind of bad stuff that gets her almost kicked out of school. And so it's like that's normally how the episodes go. Either Hetty messes up with a potion, or Belladonna's doing something crooked with a potion, and she has to kind of like fix the day type thing. And so like it's weird because she'll mess a potion up the first time, but then the second time she gets it like kind of right. Sometimes, but it's mostly other people who have to make like a cure, like Miss Hardbroom, Miss Cackles, or Mona or something like that, because she's just terrible when it comes to potions. And I've already said like her cat is like a dog, and she hasn't turned that back yet for some reason. And it's just she's like just like this all she is a nice girl even though she is selfish. I do love how this season they changed up everybody's hairstyle, and not only they changed it up for an episode, they changed it up multiple times within one episode. It's a whole lot better than the other two on the other three series, because with them everybody wears the same hairstyle and the same pose in every episode, and that guy's kind of like annoying and everything. So it's cool to see them like change it up. And so, like, but there's one thing about Hetty that always bugs me sometimes, is that sometimes they say she saved the day when actually she didn't. I've already talked about how, like, Cressie saved the day in the beginning of the episode this season, but then Mona ended up saving another day. See, Cressie had to make Belladonna her friend for some type of, like, task she had. And Hetty's all like, well, what if you save her life? I can, like, make ice dragon and everything, and it can attack Belladonna, and then you can save her. And then Cressie's like, no, don't do that, don't interfere and all that stuff, but she does it, like, but she's about to do it anyway. But then what are their names, Belladonna and Cynthia, they're in the library putting books away, but they use magic and it goes like haywire. And so like not them, Mona does that. And so when Mona makes the books go haywire and they're flying all around and crazy and stuff, like that's when Cressie saves like Belladonna. And so they talking about, oh, Hetty, you helped me like with my task and blah blah. Well, it wasn't her, it was Mona. So I don't know why they always give her like the credit and stuff. And so that's kind of like annoying, but there are times where she does eventually save the day. Like she had to convince like Dillis to like return an owl back to Pentangles when she didn't want to and stuff. So there are times when like Hetty will be very selfish and like screw things up, but there are other times when she has that heart of gold and she ends up saving the day. Cressie, they really expanded the role of Cressie this season. I really like that. Cressie is somewhat of a hippie free spirit. She's all about that guru stuff, she's all about meditation and like flower power and stuff like that. We got a glimpse of that in the last season, but only in one episode where she mentions it. But they don't really go any further than that. In this season, they go constantly further with it. And then the first episode of the season, she actually saved the day. But like I said before, Hetty got the credit. And so when you compare them to the original series, she is more like the what's that one girl? It's not Maud. It's the other one. I forget her name. The one that's always getting in trouble and stuff. And so like when it comes to Cressie this season, like it's cool because like oh, what is it? What is it? What is it? So just like the girl in the original series, sometimes she would act not as bright and act kind of like goofy and silly and stuff, which is kind of like weird because it's kind of like, whoa, you was more serious before, now you're kind of wacky. But it's like, I do like that different sides of her. It's cool to see more of her personality come out this season. And I've already said, she had that one, like, task of having to make, like, Belladonna her best friend. Not best friend, but, like, her friend and stuff. And so, like, when she saved her life, um, because Mona helped, she had to, like, fulfill her task. And that was, like, really cool. But then Hetty decided she had got that ice dragon after, anyways. And she set it loose. By mistake. And so I'm trying to think of something. Oh, in the finale. So for some reason, I don't know why, but Hetty decided to make a grape go like really big and blow up. And it messed a lot of the halls up. So they had to share a bunch of rooms. And when she shared it with Cressie, she realized she snored. So she did a spell on her. And it made Cressie turn into like a baby. So Hetty had to like take care of her for the rest of that episode, and they had to take like some type of exam, but Hetty had to miss it because she had to take care of the baby Cressie. And Miss Cackles are like, I'm gonna have to hold you back a grade because of this and stuff. And then so like she ends up losing Cressie. Cressie ends up on the roof and finds the magic spell to turn her back to normal and stuff. But yeah, when it comes to like all the characters, probably Cressie is my favorite. I kind of wish she was like, the main star. Nothing against Hetty or nothing like that, but it's just like, one's selfish and the other one isn't. Now, one thing they left out with Cressie is that in the first season, it was established that she is a time witch. However, in this season, there's no mention of it whatsoever. And I don't know why. Mona, they expanded on Mona as well. It's cool to see a Hallow, like, be nice. Ethel, remember her? Woo, she was just like evil and stuff, especially in the original series and in the 2017 one. Now, Ethel had a younger sister who would cry a lot. She was nice, and then in the 2017 one, she had an older sister who was nice as well. So it's weird how Ethel was the only evil one. But one thing I love about like Mona is that she's book smart. She loves to read. She loves technology. She loves being a scientist. In fact, she's a little inventor herself. She's always inventing something with electronics. And that really pisses off Miss Hardbroom and Cackle because they're all about magic and stuff. But she feels technology is the way of life and not magic and stuff. So normally, every time something bad would happen, or she's always the one who comes up with the idea of how to like solve it because she is like the smart one and stuff. And I remember one time there was like a field trip and they was all supposed to go, but she didn't want to because she just wanted to read her book. And she got like really upset when like the book came to the last page. Now one time she had to compete in this contest, and but it's all for like wizards and not witches. So she thought they made a mistake on her interests thing. And so Hetty's all like, "Oh, I got an idea. We can turn you into a guy." And so like, Mona's like, "No, you leave me alone," and stuff like that. And so like, but Hetty does it anyways, and she turns into a boy in the episode with a beard. And when she shaved it, it came completely right back. And so yeah, so she's a really cool character. She's like Maud or like Hermione. Dillis it still has like, a small role that she had in like the first season, but she's shown a whole lot more and does a lot more. She's not as shy as she was before. She's not really so much trying to make friends. Now she just like inserts herself into like a group and she's always welcome. Also for Belladonna. And so like in this season, it was, I don't know if it was this season or last, she wanted to be like well liked. I think that was last season. But this season, what was it? I know she had to sing that solo one time, and so she had to have that like courage type like potion. And then she finds a pentangle owl and she puts it on her broom, and all of a sudden she can fly a whole lot better. So she wants to keep it for herself. And so this causes a whole lot of chaos because the Pentangle teacher lady, she wants her owl back. And she was gonna turn the like castle into dust if she didn't get it back. But then her and Hetty returned the owl and everything. And then she realized, it wasn't the owl that made her fly better. It was just her and her confidence level and stuff. She does have a bigger role than that of the first season. Like she helps with the sleeping potion antidote and stuff. And she's a team player, you know what I'm saying? Like she really enjoys helping people out. And that's like really cool. And sometimes, and what's so cool about the actress is that even though it's a small role, she makes it bigger. And that's like really awesome. So Cynthia Hard Rocks. She is still as bratty as she was in the first season, but she's more of a hench girl this season than she was in the first. Always doing what Belladonna wants her to do. But the thing about her is she does have a bit of a heart. She gets really like upset when Belladonna makes her do something she don't want to do, even though she does it, and then she's all like, maybe we should tell and everything. But Belladonna's like, you better not tell and stuff like that. But she does have a conscience. That's the thing. But she is mean as like Belladonna. Even to the point where she didn't care if the school turned to dust, she was gonna keep the owl for herself and take it back to no, and keep it, and then she was gonna like go back to Pentangles because she doesn't like being at Miss Cackle's academy. But for the most part, like her and Belladonna, they get along, but sometimes Belladonna is too mean to her and she gets mean right back, but it's like a rarity. And out of all the girls, she's like the tallest. Like, remember how I said before, all the girls grew like this season, and throughout the rest of the season, you can see them grow a little bit more. She is like the tallest. Belladonna Bindweed. Still as bratty and mean and rude as the first season, boy. She's not as evil as Ethel, but she's up there. She's just a brat and a jealous one at that. She causes a lot of problems at Miss Cackle's with potions and stuff, and always finds a way to blame Hetty on it. And it's funny in some episodes because she's so mean to people, like adults, they end up cursing her. One lady cursed her like big hairy feet. And then when she tripped Caspian by mistake, he is the only one who punished her on screen. he made her go blind. Oh my God. Because Miss Harbroom always punishes her off screen and stuff. But then, yeah, it's just like that dude blinded her, and it made for a pretty hilarious episode. And she learned her lesson. She's all like, "Are you gonna reverse the blind spell?" You're like, "Sure." He put glasses on her. It is interesting because in the first season finale, she tried to take over the school with that of Agatha. And yet, even though she got punished, she never got kicked out. And one thing I never understood about Miss Harbroom is that she always thinks Hetty is the troublemaker, but it's always Belladonna. You think she would have learned from that of like the original series. Miss Cackle is like exactly the same way she was in the first season and in the original series, played by the same actress. So she doesn't miss a beat. But this Miss Cackle is a lot more grumpier at times and loud, which, in the book in the 2017 series, she is more soft-spoken. But this one is just like, she's an all-around, like, okay lady, but just gets grumpy at times. And when she gets grumpy, she gets loud. But she's a great head mistress and stuff. And she always has confidence in her girls and always giving second chances and third and fourth and like that. Because, Hetty needs like a lot of chances. Now, one thing they did interesting in this season is that they made her slightly more comedic towards the middle and end. And one thing they did was gave her, like, she wanted to lose weight, but she couldn't stop eating like cream puffs and like donuts and stuff. So it made for a very hilarious episode. The new Miss Harbroom, she is mean. Like, oh my God, she's mean and everything. But she's awesome. Like, all these like Miss Harbrooms are like, I just love all of them, Like, but it's weird. They always blame the Hubbles for everything. But if they would pay attention, they would realize it's always the actual bad girl who does things. But this woman is a Harbroom. She don't let you get away with nothing. She walks into a room or teleports into a room. She see you do one thing out of line. She gets on to you and give you the tension. And she loves punishing the students. But she always gets on to like the nice teachers. She doesn't really get on to Miss Miss Widget, but she gets on to Swoop a lot more than the first season and stuff. Actually, there might be a continuity problem because I thought for sure in Weird Sisters, Miss Harbroom had like a communication system, like a hologram, and she spoke to Mildred. And I think she told her she was retired from Miss Cackles. I can't remember. But then here she is again, so that don't make no sense. Miss Swoop, everything takes her by surprise, the way it scares and frightens her. And one person she's scared of is that of Miss Harbroom, who does not approve of her teaching methods. She feels that Swoop doesn't have a lot of confidence and stuff. Now, Swoop is the PE teacher, so for the most part, she's always dressed in her PE outfit. And she does everything from teaching the girls soccer, which they call football, and teach them karate and stuff. And her comedic sense of humor this season was a delight. We got to see a whole lot more of Swoop and everything. And she's just like hilarious. Oh boy, I swear. And sorry, I told you that one episode where everybody fell asleep and she had to pretend to be 3 different teachers and stuff. And she botched almost all of them up. Caspian is hilarious. I wish he was in the first season. No, not the first season, but the first series. But he wasn't. He's the librarian, and he always wants it quiet in there. Now, he's really good at potions and stuff, so when the girls mess up. But one thing is a recurring gag. He's always asleep in the library. Every time they come in there, he's asleep. But he knows everything when it comes to the books, which books to look for, which spells to find, and stuff like that. So it's like, he's not useless and everything. Now, there is something hilarious that happens towards the end where a love potion hits Miss Widget, and Miss Swoop, and they fall for that of Caspian and stuff. And I still like how he's the only one who punished like Belladonna and stuff. Miss Widget, she is the last. She replaced the other teacher, Miss Nightingale, in the first season. Nobody knows what happened to Miss Nightingale. They don't never mention her. Miss Widget, she is a free-spirited hippie. I'm surprised her and Cressie never hung out. Like her and Cressie never really had any scenes, and you think they would because they're so similar. But she is as free as a spirit can be. She always dresses in colorful, bright clothes. She's the art teacher. She's just wacky. Now, one time I read a comment on a YouTube video and somebody's all like, they don't like her. And I can kind of see why, because she doesn't really fit the formula of like the new wit, not new wit, but the worst witch. She doesn't act like none of the other characters except for the Cressie, but even Cressie's not that out there and outgoing, but she's very out there and outgoing. So it's just kind of like it's distraction, you know what I'm saying, from everything else and everybody else. But the actress is really good at her role. It's not her fault, it's the writer's fault for making her so weird and wacky. I think they probably did that just because this is more kid friendly. So they wanted a more kid friendly teacher because Miss Heartbroom is so mean. But yeah, I really enjoyed this season. It was a delight. The CGI got so much better than that of the first season. Like, you know, the way they flew on their brooms, how things levitated. The only CGI I really didn't like was the way they teleported Miss Heartbroom. It just didn't never look realistic. But everything was so much better CGI wise and stuff this season. And it is a shame that they didn't have a third season, because you know this ended not too long ago, back in like the early 2000s. You know, like all the actresses are in their 20s or about to come in their 30s soon and stuff. And so like, because you know the age of the characters on the show were like 12 and 13, and I never really thought of them as being like that young, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just, you know, it was cool to watch this, you know, because I enjoy The Worst Witch. I will be doing another video on like, you know, the 2017 series, the original series, and a little comparison from another known wizard that pretty much copied everything there was from The Worst Witch and everything. Happy Women's History Month, everybody. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.